Hi everybody, welcome back to First Chapter Friday. This month we're going to read Maizy Chen's Last Chance by Lisa Yee. And I'll be honest with you, the reason I first picked this off the shelf is because I used to have a cat named Maizy, and she was the best little kitty cat in the whole wide world. But the funny thing is, after I picked it up off the shelf and started reading it, I believe he was about 7. He came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, did you read this?" I said, "No, I'm looking at it now." He goes, "Read it. It's good." So that's why I'm picking it. And I'll be honest with you, it is super fast paced. There is so much going on. I doubt anyone could get bored reading this book, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who would say I was wrong. So let's start in with Maizy Chen's Last Chance by Lisa Yee. And the first chapter is really, really short, so you don't have to hang in that long this month. Okay, chapter 1. The pies were fake, but my grandparents didn't know that. Not at first, anyway. My mother had invited them to watch her work on the tasty, flaky pie crust commercial. When I first started going with her to the set, Mom told me, as a food stylist, my job is to make sure everything looks good for the camera, end quote. Oma and Opa showed up directly from the airport wearing matching airplane pillows around their necks, and my job was to make sure that they didn't get into any trouble. My grandmother's luggage had barely touched the floor when she rushed over, and in her excitement, she practically knocked me down. Oma's hug felt awkward, partly because of the neck pillow and also because even though I was 8 years old, this is the first time I've ever met my grandmother in person. My best friend thinks that's kind of weird, that I don't know my grandparents that well because her family is really close. It's complicated, I've tried explaining to Ginger, but the truth is I don't understand it myself. My mom and I talk about almost everything, but when it comes to her relationship with her parents, that's a different story. On the set, Opa beamed brighter than the soundstage lights dangling overhead. "Maizy, you're so big!" My grandfather kept repeating before he got distracted by the pretend kitchen with only one wall. That's when Oma pointed to a tight circle of people. "Shouldn't they be working?" she asked. "Why aren't they working?" Mom stood calmly in the middle while the director yelled, "Charlotte, I need practice pies now." "You'll get your pies," Mom said, motioning to the 24 pies lined up on the folding tables. Some were fully baked. Others were ready for the oven, preparing for their close-ups. My grandparents watched in shocked silence as Mom's perfectly rounded scoops of mashed potatoes stood in for vanilla ice cream. Since potatoes don't melt. Instead of milk, glasses were filled with glue because that looks better on camera. Oma and Opa are in the food business too. They own the Golden Palace. That's their Chinese restaurant in Last Chance, Minnesota. Mom once told me, "Maizy, you're the last of the Last Chance Chens." That seemed weird since I'd never even been there before. I leaned in a little to eavesdrop as my grandparents began to whisper. "Where did Charlotte learn that? Not from us. It's not real food." When Mom topped the pies with a can of shaving cream instead of whipped cream, Oma looked like she had just seen a zombie. It was all too much. My grandmother grabbed her suitcase with one hand and my grandfather with the other. "Come on, we're going home." "But we just got here," Opa protested. By now, he had noticed that the back of the oven was missing and that there was a camera inside of it. Before he could say anything more, Oma kissed the top of my head. "We love you, Maizy. Come visit us." And that was the last time I saw my grandparents. Until today. And that is the end of chapter 1 of Maizy Chen's Last Chance by Lisa Yee. I highly recommend this book. I think it's very fast, very quick. I think you'll really enjoy it. And there's a lot of stuff happening in here. There's people getting picked on and how to solve problems and, different areas of the country. I think you'll really enjoy it. So again, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. And I'll see you next month. Okay? Bye.